Hi, hello guys, how are you? My name is Sandila. Some of you might have seen me from other posted videos that I've posted here on this channel. This channel is strictly for people who want to go into business, small people who are trying to study or learn, not as in theory, but to go into actual business. But I'm talking about those people who are reluctant and people that are still trying, who are trying to figure out what to do or how things are going to turn out if they go into business or if they attempt to do this. But this now we're talking of people obviously who have not been into business before, people who are still trying or thinking of going into business. Maybe we're talking of people who have like less capital or people who do not have courage enough to try something. Remember, trying to think of a future for something that has not been initiated or started. This is like thinking of a future of someone who was never born. This is an impossible task and it's an impossible task. Something needs to be started for you to be able to see its future or to predict where it's going to go. You need to see the first step so you can see what's going to be the next step. In this video, I'm going to show you, or I'm going to tell you, I'm going to discuss with you a few ways of how to prepare yourself, how to look at other ways or avenues that may help you figure out what's going to be your next move. Because the most important thing in starting a business is knowing your first move. And your first move should be the first move that will allow you to have a variety of options should you not be successful at executing perfectly as planned. You should have another plan which is in place or another move which is in place to complement that move. So basically you need to think not less than 2 moves ahead. You need to think not less than 2 moves ahead for you to be able to have a perfect landing of your first move. So you should have a sequence of moves. Take it as a chess game. In a chess game, whenever you make a move based on what the opponent is going to reply with, or which move you think your opponent is going to play. So then you make your move. So basically you need to think ahead to a point that you can almost see the future, or the next person think you can almost see the future. So this comes down to you being able to prepare yourself. Being able to prepare yourself comes from you giving yourself time to understand yourself as a person, understand your strength, and understand your weaknesses. Then you start learning the market or learning your opponent. Because remember, it doesn't work out, or it's not going to work out for you if you are going to try and learn the opponent if you do not understand your strength and weaknesses. Comes down to a part where you learn your weaknesses. Focus on the seller. Focus on you as a person who wants to start a business. Now, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? First, we are going to have to discuss the ability to prepare. To be able to prepare, we said you need to understand your strengths. You need to understand your weaknesses. Because if you are going to start preparing yourself, you need to know what are you preparing yourself for and how much pressure that are you going to take, how much of the effort you are going to apply, or how much force you need to apply. If you are going to go to the shop and buy bread, you need to know how much is the bread, right? But first, you need to know that you have money to buy bread. Then you will say, oh, I don't have enough money. Let me go get a little bit more money to buy bread. This is the very same principle that applies to you if you want to go into business, even if you want to buy something, property, or whatsoever. You first need to prepare yourself prior before the challenge. Now, as you are preparing yourself, you need to understand more of your weaknesses so you will be able to channel your weaknesses into strength. Because remember, the market that you are trying to engage in or the market that you are trying to get into is not going to be fair on you. And that market needs you to be well prepared. I'm going to make an example of an insect, a dragonfly. Luckily, dragonflies are only this small. If they were so big, we would have been in trouble as human beings. Dragonflies have the ability to master and memorize its prey's move and future movements. So they prepare themselves for the future of the actual prey that is sitting in front of them, meaning they are well prepared. They can memorize its prey's movement and be able to predict where it's gonna go next and intercept that move. This is the same strategy that you need to be in when you are trying to go into business. You need to understand the market. When you understand the market to a certain point, you will understand which one is the correct angle for you to engage or the actual timing for you to engage. The very good timing, because everything has a very sweet spot. And everything in its sweet spot is winnable. It is a winning game. It is a winnable game. Let me say it like that. So, when you study your weaknesses, you need to be honest. You need to create a checklist of your weaknesses. You need to create a checklist of your weaknesses where you write down your weaknesses. And this is self-auditing, but based on weaknesses. You need to have a checklist of your weaknesses. That this is my weakness, these are my weaknesses. Be honest to yourself. If you are honest to yourself to that extent, you will understand and you will be able to divert or channel those weaknesses into strengths. Take it as a player who doesn't know how to dribble past players. So, because he does not know how to dribble past players, he's going to rely more on speed. He's going to try to run more faster than other players. This is channeling the weakness. But a player who is not fast enough when it comes to speed is going to look at another ability. So I cannot dribble, I cannot run fast. Those are my weaknesses. But which one is going to be my strength? I'm going to have to be a good passer of the ball. If you're a good passer of the ball, that is a strength that comes from your weaknesses. If you know your weaknesses, you will be able to tell or master your strengths and polish them to a point that they will work to your advantage. This is an ability to learn your weaknesses. I always say when I talk to people, common sense can be taught and common sense can be learned. A dragonfly is an insect, and we are lucky as human beings it's only this small. Imagine if dragonflies were as big as predators like that can eat us as human beings. We would have been so much in trouble. Why? Because dragonflies, they sit and look at the insect or the prey that they are now gonna eat and memorize its movements to predict its future movement so they can intercept. Look at this as a dragonfly can almost see the future. Not exactly, they are well prepared. When I say they are well prepared, I'm saying they are well prepared that they have a success rate of hunting as in 95%. They are the best hunters that we have in the world. Meaning if they were to hunt 20 preys, only one has a chance of escaping. So dragonflies sit, look at the prey in front of them, it movements, and it predicts that now it's going to go this way, now it's going to go this way, next 5 movements. This is the most possible movement that it's going to take when it comes from here, when it moves from here. So it moves according to the future prediction on the highest probability move that it has predicted. And exactly an insect will move and then it intercepts. This is a best lesson of a well-prepared person, or a well-prepared person who is trying to go into business. If you master that ability to prepare yourself into that extent, you have you have very less opportunities or chances of losing out in your competition. When you look at the dragonfly ability to prepare, you look at a chess play or a master at chess play in play. Whenever you take a move or you make a move on a chessboard, that move determines whether your 2, 3, 4 next 5 moves are going to be possible, or you are going to be forced to play defense after that move, or you are going to lose. So each and every move that you take, it needs to be backed up, protected, well taken. So you need to prepare a sequence of moves, not one move. So for you to be able to prepare yourself into that level, you need to know your weaknesses. Because remember, when you prepare yourself, you prepare according to your strengths. You prepare according to your strength. You don't prepare mostly according to your weaknesses. But not knowing your weaknesses is actually a downfall. Because now, if you do not understand your weaknesses, you only understand your strengths, you will get to a point where you are stuck and you can't pull yourself out, and you keep digging that hole because you are trying to find avenues of coming out, or you are trying to find ways of coming out of that hole or that situation. So now let's master our weaknesses. Let's create a checklist. These are my weaknesses. Be brutally honest of your weaknesses. Be as brutal as you can be. Be as brutal as a thief trying to get your bag when you're looking at your weaknesses, because that is the way, that is the master plan of mastering your weaknesses and being able to channel them into strength. Weirdest example, a soccer player that has mastered his weaknesses knows exactly what he cannot do. So he does what he can do best, not what he cannot, not what he doesn't know. Does what they can do best. We have players that don't have speed, players that don't have body strength, that can't dribble. Imagine this is one player. He can't dribble past other players. He can't run. He does not have body strength. What that player does, he masters the passes. He is the good passer of the ball. He's not going to run past players, not going to dribble past players. He's not going to try and beat players on body weight. that's going to beat them on passing. Good game. Let's put him on 90% accuracy on passing. This is mastering your weaknesses. You conquer your weaknesses with your strength. But if you don't know your weaknesses, you are going to keep trying to go into that space where you are forced to use the ability that you do not have. And that is a red light. It is a red flag, because now you are going to start digging a hole. And once you are in that hole, you're going to keep digging until it swallows you. There is one principle that I have learned. It's in the book. I'm going to remember whose book it is. It says, if you are in a hole, stop digging. That is what happens when you are less prepared, or that is what happens when you are not prepared or not aware of your weaknesses. You end up digging a more deeper hole than the one that you just fell into. Now, we are going to look at other 5 steps. These are my personal 5 steps at mastering the art of preparation. So, you need to learn to prepare, because knowing how to prepare is a skill. So, 1, you need to learn how to prepare. And once you have learned how to prepare, you are going to be able to study your moves. And when you are able to study your moves, there is nothing that can come to you as a surprise, because you have studied the moves. You know exactly what you are going to do. You need to plan. This is the 3rd one. Once you study your moves that you need to make, you need to master the art of planning your moves. So now this is planning a sequence of moves. This is more than one move that is planned that you need to execute, like whether it's 5 or 10 moves, and each move has options in it that will allow you to move forth no matter the circumstances. You now need to learn the art of deploying those moves. You need now to learn the art of deploying those moves. Look at you being in the center of a field in a football team. When the team is playing a counter attack, you need to release the ball quicker. You need to initiate the attack. You're actually the one who decides whether we play in counter attack or we play progressive football, or we are just gonna play football and calm down. You decide. This comes as a skill when you have mastered the art of deploying moves. You know exactly what to do when. This comes down to the 5th move, which is master the art of timing. When you master the art of timing, you will know exactly when which move is ready to be executed. And when you get to that point, you will not be caught in the middle like a centerfold when you have to look at other moves that you have to deploy before other moves are deployed. You now have to do your 5th move because your 2nd move didn't work out. You have to put in your 3rd move before your 2nd move. You're now mixing up everything because you didn't master the timing. Yes, there is times when you will have to deploy the next move earlier than you have planned. But this comes to how prepared are you and how good have you read the market or the opponent. When you master the art of deploying moves and the timing, you will know exactly when to do 1 and when to do 2. I hope as we're sitting here and discussing this, you're taking notes, because This is the original material that I have prepared, and with this material, I'm hoping it does help you start a very successful business tomorrow. It helps you take a very good or a better decision that will enrich your life also. We look at this material. I called it proper preparation to predict, because I want you to learn more about predicting the future of something. But now remember, you cannot predict a future of something that has not happened. Something needs to be there for you to be able to see the future, or to foresee the future, or to predict the future, or to prepare for. Take it like we're thinking of a future of a child that isn't born, that was not born, let's say that was never born. That is an impossible task. It's an impossible tense. It's like an impossible future. So now you need to make a decision that I am taking this step, and prior, before I take this step fully, I need to be well prepared for this specific step. Now, we look at timing. We spoke about timing. Now, we look at timing and break down timing. We look at time, when. And when will come with a why, because it started with a what. So what is when, and why what is then. Again, we look at timing. Time is when, and the when will come with a why, because what asks you when, and when asks you why. Why do I have to execute this specific move now, or tomorrow, or later, or next month, or next year? Why? It is because I'm expecting everything to settle down from 1, 2, 3, and then I execute this move, or I put in this move to do 1, 2, 3. So this is your preparation, or this is you teaching yourself to be a good timer. So now you have mastered the preparation. You have prepared yourself so well that you know exactly what to do now, what to do next, and what to do after that, and the after that. Now, when you're trying to learn the master of timing, you need to learn to study your market or your opponent. Once you learn and master your opponent, they will never come at you with a surprise, because you know exactly what they're going to do next, or what's going to happen next in the market. So you plan your moves accordingly. This is now your timing. This is going to happen then. This is going to happen now. This is going to happen after. If this doesn't work out, I'm going to have to push in this one very quickly. So you learn to predict and study your predictions. Remember, when you learn or study something, when you're looking at the market, you're looking at something that you don't know the future, but now you are preparing to predict what it's going to do. So you will know what you're going to have to do. And now, when you look at your predictions, you need to study your predictions also. So if you think as a defender, this guy is going to come at me and dribble past through me, I need to be prepared for that. I need to wait for him, whether he's going to try and pull a right stand step over, and I'm going to intercept the step over. This is the timing. I'm going to intercept the step over, because I know he usually does step overs, or he usually push the ball to the left and goes to the right. So now I'm going to stretch my leg to the right, but I'm not going to stretch it all because he might pull out a rabbit out of a head. So now I'm going to disturb. I'm going to intercept his move before, slightly before he execute, whether that's a step over or try to push the ball to the left. So now I need to master the timing. This is where he's going to do that. When it's somewhere there, I need to move in. So you have predicted what you think is possible, and then you look at the time where they are most likely to do it. This is now learning your opponent. And it's the same thing with the market. When the market is busy, you know what's happening in the market, and you look at other avenues in the very same market that, oh, this is not exploited, or this option has not been taken. Let me take this one, because if I take this one, this will happen, and then I'm going to move swiftly into this. So you move accordingly and continuously. So whatever that you do, try to do it accordingly, cautiously, and continuously. So take it as when you nailing when you're nailing a plank, you don't hit it once and it becomes successful. You hit it multiple times. You wave that hammer multiple times until the market opens. You predict those moves and try to intercept them multiple times until you become successful at doing it. Because if you do not become successful at doing it, you fail. That's why good timing and continuously doing something, or the consistency, comes into play. So you prepare your counteract. You prepare your counteract in a series of moves. I've made an example with a soccer player coming at you, whether he's going to dribble or run past you. This is what he's planning. This is what you know. This is what you have prepared for that. He's going to come at me running. He's going to do a step over when he's 2 meters from me. So I need to intercept that step. When it does the first step over, I need to move in and intercept that ball. If it's about 2 meters, he's going to try and kick the ball to the left. So I need to attack him at within 2 meter range. So I'll be able to intercept that move. Or I need to be able to turn quickly. So if I turn quickly, I will know exactly that the ball went this direction. So I will attack the direction of the ball, or I'm playing him. So I provide myself with options. I put him on wait, or I intercept the ball. But now you look at everything that is possible, all the possible outcomes of that move. You look at all the possible outcomes of that move. So that's when you have mastered the timing. You know what's going to happen when, or this is going to happen, or this is most possibly, like, this is the most possible move, and this is what is going to try. This is what the market looks like now. It needs me to do 1, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. And then I counteract whatever that's going to be coming, because I have acted in this way, I expect the market to respond in this way. That's when you have mastered your timing, or your art of timing. Is knowing when to do what and why you need to do that. Now it comes to my favorite part of this preparation, or this preparation to predict, it comes to a part that is my favorite, planning a series of moves. So when you learn how to master and plan ahead, you learn what to do and when to do it. This is now how you plan your series of moves. You know what you think is gonna happen, but you know exactly what you are gonna do. So now this is either you preparing a series of moves as a counter, or you're preparing a series of moves as an attack. So you know what to do now. I want to start a business, and because now I want to start a business, this is what I need. This is what I'm gonna do, or this is how I'm gonna do one. This is when I'm gonna do two. Now you plan on how to do one thing in different ways. Now this is called a free will. If you know how to do something in one specific way, you have not mastered the art of free will. You are forced to do that thing in that specific way because that's the only way you know how to do it. So, free will is when you are able to do one thing in 2, 3, 4, 5 ways. And you are able to put moves together or ways together to do one thing that will save you time. Because remember, time is the most valuable asset, especially in the business. So now you know what to do. Now plan on how to do it in many different ways, in 2, 3, 4 ways. If I'm deciding on selling coffee, where am I gonna sell coffee? This coffee that I'm selling, where are the spots where there is no people selling coffee? I'm gonna post it on Facebook. I'm gonna post it on WhatsApp. I'm gonna use Google Ads. I'm gonna use AdSense. You need to find ways of selling this coffee. You're selling one coffee in 5, 6 different ways. And that way you will never run out of market, right? Now, you learn to understand the challenge you can, so you can act accordingly. So if you understand the challenges, we spoke about preparing yourself, looking at your weaknesses and preparing yourself, your strengths and plan of attack. You initiate a plan of attack using your strengths and you looking at a place where it favors you, right? Now we're looking at the actual challenges that you now predicted that you are going to face, so you can act accordingly. When a market reacts like this, when Facebook rejects me, when I post coffee and people don't react to my coffee, I am going to start making videos of people drinking my coffee and post them on Facebook. This is a counteract strategy of posting that I'm selling coffee. I'm going to post people commenting about my coffee. I'm going to make videos of people drinking my coffee and telling me how nice my coffee is. So now it will now start telling people that the coffee is nice. Now it's worth trying this coffee. You act according to the responses. Remember, when you understand the challenges are the responses. If you understand the responses, you learn them. They don't turn you down. They don't weigh you down. They don't break you. The challenges are there to make you strong. They are here to strengthen you. When you do bodybuilding, you lift up weights that are more than your body size sometimes. They don't break you. They only make you a bit stronger so you can lift a little bit more. So the challenges that you face, they're not to weigh you down or to bring you down or to degrade you. but they are there to strengthen you. So you know your next move needs to be stronger than your first move. That's why you have planned a sequence of moves and learned the challenges so you can act according to how the market reacts to whatever platform or whatever way that you have chosen for that specific act. So every move should at least give you 2, 3, 4 options, or else you will be forced to play defense. Let's look back at a soccer field, at a player playing defense. You know a player is coming at you, and now I have to intercept the ball. If I fail to intercept the ball before he executes whatever he tries to execute, now I'm going to be playing facing my goal. Now I'm playing defense instead of offense. Because remember, sometimes the best way to defend is to attack. And in business, it's the only place where you don't learn and do. This is where you do and learn. This is a complete university, a different university. This is where you do and learn. You can learn everything. You can study. It will take you so far. But when you get into the actual business, you look at something and then you do it, and then you know how to do it. If you have never done it, you don't know how to do it. So every move should at least give you 2, 3 more options. So I know when I put my foot here, my left is gonna go there. If that space is occupied, I need to be able to move that left into another place. You need to know exactly what to do next and how to do it. And when you do it, it needs to give you options. It needs to give you options. You predict all the possible challenges to master your next move. You can't move freely just because you want to move or you feel like now you want to move. You need to know from where you are that if I execute this move now, or if I play this move now, this is going to be the response, and this is going to be my counter strategy. So your counter strategy needs to be able to accommodate whatever that may or that will come to you at that time. This is my favorite part, because this is actually where we learn how to plan. Like a free will is a very, very important thing. If you know how to feed a wire to the other side of the room in one way, when that wire doesn't reach its destination, you will have to break a wall to feed that wire. But if you have mastered 5 ways of feeding the same wire into the other room, probably you'll have to just slide it into the ceiling, slide it under the door, because you can put it on the floor, you can put it on the roof, you can put it over the house, or you can put it through the house, or you can just run it around the house. You have mastered 5 ways of doing the same thing. This is a free will. You choose what to do and how to do it. Now, we're looking at how to deploy these moves. And we look at this as a game of 2 pieces. So, we are going to look at a chessboard for this case. We have made a lot of examples with the soccer field. Now, in this case, let's take a chessboard. If you move pawn e2 to e4 on a chessboard, this is now a pawn in front of a king. You allow your queen to move out. It will be able to move out to h5, which is basing the attack to the weak pawn f7. which f7 is a direct pawn in the next or on the right of the king or on the left of the king, depending on which angle you're looking at it. At that very specific time or at the same time, it allows you to pull out your bishop. When you pull out your bishop to b3, no, it will move to b4. It will base its attack on the very same pawn. Now, that stops your opponent from castling free. So you have two pieces that are basing the attack on one pawn, but it prevents your opponent to do one important thing, which is castling. Because once they start moving those pawns, they start opening spaces. And those two pieces, they can be supported by a horse on the right and horse on the left also. Those are moves deployed, like that's a sequence of moves that if I move this pawn up front 2 spaces, and then he will be forced to block my move because it doesn't want me on his rank. Now I pull my bishop out to c4. Now if I pull my bishop out to c4, he's left exposed. He's going to have to pull out the horse. He pulls out the horse to block that way. I pull out the queen to the other way, to h4, to h5. If I pull my queen to the f5 spot, I'm now having two pieces basing the attack. He's got a pawn trying to block me. I pull out my other gun. I pull out a horse to protect the bishop. I pull out a horse to protect the queen. But now remember, this is a sequence of moves of attack. You still need to withdraw while you're still on the attack. You're not withdrawing the attack. You're withdrawing a move. Not because you want to withdraw a move, but because you have forced your opponent to play a move that they have not prepared to play. Now, your next move is to proceed with the attack, but now you have to pull back your queen so your horse can move up front, and you have the bishop to protect that, with bishop which is c1. Just by moving a pawn 1 space to protect the pawn in the center, you have the same horse protecting the pawn in the center. You have the very same bishop protecting the very same pawn in the center. You have another bishop protecting your horse on the upright. Now you move your queen outright to protect. You have a bishop protecting the horse. You have the queen protecting the horse. You have the queen protecting the pawn. You have the horse protecting the pawn. You have the bishop protecting the pawn. You have a pawn protecting the pawn. This is a sequence of moves. This is a sequence of moves. You are in attack, but playing defense at the same time. Remember, one of the most important things is to force your way into the market, or it's forcing your opponent to do things that they are not prepared to do. So if you are a boxer and you're in a ring, you wanna force your opponent to throw their heaviest punches at the beginning of the match, so they get tired and you start throwing yours. But I don't know if that's how it works on the boxing, but you always see boxers trying to punch and throw the kidneys because they're trying to get their opponents tired. And then once your opponent gets tired, you can forcefully push your punches through the face. So if you deploy your moves accordingly, this strategy is called an offensive defensive strategy. So every move that you do, make sure that it has at least two that is, it has at least two offensive or attacking options that are coming with it. So when you have your horse out on h6, it has an option of attacking the f7, the h8. It's there. It's g7 can attack the f7 or the h8. It's a sequence of moves that you have planned ahead. And once you master that, you can win at that specific level. Remember, business is a game of levels. It's a game of moves. It's a game of two pieces. And this now forces the opponent to defend or the market to open. This is the power of free will. You have multiple options of doing the same thing. You have multiple options of attacking the same spot. When you focus your power gives you an option. Or if you focus your power will break the market for you. And do not move unless you know that move has at least 3 ways of how the opponent or market will react or respond. So if you know that at least 2 or 3 ways, this is how the market will respond, do not move. Think of a move that will force the market to open. In that way, you will know at least 2 to 5 of your next possible moves. When I'm making an event, when I'm making we're actually talking of this event of a chess game. I remember I once played a guy and I lost the match, but I remember